Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Hope you're doing well. If you're new, welcome, and if you're revisiting, thanks again for stopping by. So today I've got a couple of makeup products that I wanted to share with you. Also some brushes. Actually, the brushes are the main reason I wanted to actually film this video. So I got my hands on the Zoeva Rose Gold brush set, but these are dupes that I got on eBay. I actually wanted to buy a new brush set. The ones that I have are old ones that I also bought from eBay, but I've had them for a while and I wanted some new ones. And the thing I liked about this was basically because they are numbered and they're named, so I don't have to remember what they're called or what they're used for. So that's basically why. And also it comes with this with a nice bag. Obviously I'll show you everything in a minute, but yeah, so I actually like the fact that these are really good quality dupes. So I wasn't about to spend this, you know, I don't know how much it is. Actually, I'll just go on the website, 2 seconds. So this is just from the Beauty Bay website and they retail for £65. So I'm not about to spend £65 on a bunch of brushes, no matter how good they are. So I wanted to get my hands on them, but obviously the dupe version, and I managed to spend, I think it was $12.99, $13.99. I'll leave the prices in the description box. So yeah, I'm quite happy with these brushes. There are a few hits and misses, as you would expect for this kind of price point, but I'm hoping, you know, they last a good while. Obviously they won't last as long as these brushes, but again, you get some good wear out of them, which is what I'm hoping. So without further ado, let's get into the actual review, or rather first impressions. So they are all numbered like I said, and in this set there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 brushes. And I'm just going to start in order of the number. So I'm just going to show you, I'll see if I can I'll get a picture and insert into this video later, but this is what they look like. And that's not the complete set, but this is the picture that I could find quite quickly. So I'll show you, actually I might be able to find another one. Right, so I had the wrong picture. So this is what it looks like. So they're actually 110, which is double the price of the other picture I showed you. So yeah, I'm definitely not spending 110 on some brushes. So I'm just going to compare what they look like from what I actually received to what they're supposed to look like. So the first one is the 103 Defined Buffer, I think it's called. Let me just go on the Beauty Bay website again. Yeah, so this is the Defined Buffer brush, and it's meant to be a small angled brush for applying foundation, and this is what it looks like. I'll insert a picture of what it's meant to look like, which is what the original is meant to look like. And this is comparable to another buffer brush which I bought. I think this is a BH Cosmetics dupe actually, because I bought this before I knew about the brand BH Cosmetics. I bought this a few years ago. So they're quite similar in shape. This is the dirty one. So I quite like this. I like the fact that it's angled, makes it easier to, you know, really buff on, especially liquid foundation. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to using this, and it's really packed as well, which is what I want. There aren't any hairs on it, so it's a really good dupe. It just needs a wash, and again, the only way you'd know it's a dupe is obviously because it feels light in the hand. So comparing it to this as well, they more or less feel the same. It's quite light in the hand, and I can only imagine the original version is actually quite heavy, quite weighty, which is, you know, what you would want if you're a professional, or if you're, you know, if you're a beauty enthusiast, or you know about your brushes, you probably want your brushes to weigh a bit more in your hand. So again, I like this, and I think it's a really good copy of the original, so I'm definitely can't wait to try it. Next one is the 106 powder brush. Again, obviously it's in the name, it's meant to be used for powder, but I know fluffy brushes like this tend to get used for blush as well, so you could also use it for blush. I like the fact that it's fluffy, but I do feel like it could still, maybe you could pack some more hairs onto this. But as you can see, it's quite fluffy, it's big, and it's the biggest brush I have. It's slightly bigger than my other powder brush, but again, it feels quite light in the hand. It's not shedding any hairs, so I quite like that. Again, very looking forward to using this, because I only have one other powder brush, as opposed to my foundation brushes. I have loads of different ones, but in terms of powder, I don't have a lot of options, so this is really good. It will come in handy. Now the next one is the 109 face paint, and this is for contouring, obviously from the shape, but judging by what I can see here, actually I think the original is meant to be a little bit more tapered. So this is quite, if I just show you the side view, it's just quite flat top. So I think if it was a little bit more tapered, you'd be able to get a softer contour. I think the way that it's quite flat, you might just look like, it will definitely give you a harsh contour, and then you probably need to go in with another brush to blend it out. So yeah, I'll definitely use it because I need a contour brush. I don't actually have a contour brush. The other brush I use for contour is my Tarte foundation brush, which is actually quite tapered on one end. So yeah, so this would definitely be a really good contour brush. Again, it's quite packed. There aren't any hairs coming out, I don't think. I think there's one random hair, but apart from that, it's really well made. So again, it's a good one. And the next one is probably the one that looks the least like the original. So this is the 112 Face Curve. And this is meant to be a vegan-friendly classic flat foundation. So basically it's meant to be a flat foundation brush designed specifically for professional and seamless application. So it's not quite flat. This is quite bulky compared to the original. Again, I'll insert the picture of the original so you can see this. The original is quite flat and cone-like and quite elongated. I think also from the other videos I've seen, it's really flat. This is really rounded, so this would probably be a good dome foundation brush. I certainly wouldn't say this is you know, a flat foundation brush. It's clearly curved, but yeah, so again, it's not wasted or anything. I could use more foundation brushes, so yeah, I'll definitely still use it. And again, the hairs are nicely intact. So yeah, definitely a good compacted brush, and it's got a good amount of I want to say hairs, bristles, you know, whatever you want to call it, hairs on it. So a really good one. This one I was a little bit I want to say disappointed. I feel like it could definitely do with a few more hairs in the, what do you call this bit, you know what I'm talking about. So this is the what do you call it, this is the cheek blush. This is the 127 Sheer Cheek brush, and obviously it's for blush and also for soft contouring. In comparison to the original picture, it looks quite similar, so I wouldn't say it's, you know, it's way off or anything. It looks quite similar, but I just feel like it's quite sparse. It could do with a few more hairs in there, but again, it's soft, it's fluffy, which is what you want. You don't want something that's, you know, too compacted. So it will definitely do its job, but again, I definitely think it could do with a few more hairs in the comb thingy. Next is the fan brush. I don't actually use this fan brush. This is the 129 Luxe fan brush, and yeah, it's probably the least densely packed of all the brushes. Even my random eBay fan brush has more hairs in it than this one, so this is definitely a miss. I don't use fan brushes anyway, and when I first started off, you know, with makeup, I saw that fan brushes were obviously used for sweeping excess eyeshadow off, you know, your under eye, and also for highlighting. But I guess it could still be used for highlighting, but I don't feel like, when I use mine, I don't feel like I have quite that much control over the placement of the highlight, so I won't be using this unless, you know, my highlighter brush is dirty. So yeah, this is a miss for me. And again, it's just quite, I don't know, you can see the hairs are sticking out a bit here, so I'm not really feeling this brush. So all the other brushes I think I'm more or less happy with. So these are now the eye brushes. So the first set were the face brushes, these are the eye brushes. So this is the 142 concealer buffer rather, and obviously in the name it's meant to be used to buff out concealer. Again, I could use another one. I've only got one other concealer brush which I use to contour my nose. I actually don't use it for concealer, so I could actually keep this one for the job it's meant to be used for. So again, I like the fact that it's quite packed, it's soft. There are a few hairs that aren't quite level, so I think I might have to trim this off, but again, all the hairs are intact, so it's definitely a good concealer brush. Next is the 226 smudger brush. Now this, in comparison to, oh sorry, I forgot to mention how it compares to the concealer buffer. It looks exactly like it should in the picture, so I'm definitely happy with that. Next, the buffer smudger brush. This is the 226 smudger, and according to the, well, comparing it to the picture, the hairs are a lot longer than the original. So the original probably looked like they're about 2/3 of what this is. So if I can just show you, so it looks a lot shorter in the picture, and it looks a lot more kind of there's a bit more movement to this, and obviously with the smudger brush it's meant to be quite short and compact, so you can really smudge out without getting, basically what you don't want is too much movement, so you don't end up spreading your eyeshadow or eyeliner too far out. So what you want is a stiff brush, so you can actually control the movement, the placement of your you know, products on the under eye area. So this is definitely longer than the original, but again, it doesn't say, that doesn't mean it won't do the job. It definitely still will, because it's still quite stiff, but it's just a little bit more flexible than it should be. Next is the Luxe Soft Definer, and this is obviously an eyeshadow brush, and let me just compare what it says on the website. So this 227 Soft Definer brush is the perfect tool for creating smooth transitions between eyeshadows and creating soft, seductive and feminine looks, blah blah blah, yada yada. So to blend in eyeshadow in the crease of the eye and creating stunning effects, blah blah blah. So this, in comparison to the picture, I think with the original, that definitely is more packed than this brush that I see here, and it's a lot more cleaner in terms of the shape. So this is quite raggedy. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, so it's quite raggedy. It's not as cleanly cut as the original Soft Definer brush, so I'm a bit skeptical as to how well it's gonna, you know, place my eyeshadow, but I'm yet to use it, so I'm definitely gonna try this out and see how well it performs. Next is the Luxe crease brush, and I've been looking forward to this because all my crease brushes are actually quite big. I don't have a skinny one like this one, so this is the 228 Luxe crease brush. And again, it's for, you know, the placement of eyeshadow into the crease, and it's really neat and tidy. It's kind of between fluffy and well packed. So you know, it's got a bit of movement to it, and which is what you want. You don't want it to be, you know, quite dense. You want it to be able to freely blend your eyeshadow. So definitely it looks the part, comparing it to the picture. Yeah, so it definitely looks like it should. The only thing is, actually, that will say the Luxe crease brush looks like it might be tapered if you flick it to the side. So this is obviously very rounded. In the picture it's meant to be quite flat and a little bit more tapered, but again, no harm done. This is the kind of brush I need anyway, so I'm quite happy I got this, even if it's not like the original. The next one is the Luxe pencil brush, and again, it's a pencil brush which is used for the specific placement of eyeshadow or smudging under the eye as well. Some people use, you know, pencil brush for smudging eyeshadow under your eye, and also for the placement of eyeshadow into your, you know, your inner corner. So this, comparing it to the picture, looks quite big. So the actual original looks quite small, and my other pencil brushes are also smaller than this, and they're also more pointy like a pencil. So this is quite rounded. It needs to be a little bit more pointy, but again, doesn't mean I won't use it. I could definitely use it, you know, for the placement of eyeshadow into my inner corners, but I definitely won't be using it with the same way I'll be using my pencil brushes. Those are a lot more dense as well. They're very densely packed, so you can really control where you can place your eyeshadow, and this has got a lot of movement to it, so I'm not really sure how I'm going to use that, but I do have a few ideas. Next is the Luxe Smoky Shader, and this is a 234, and I think, yeah, so again, this is another one that doesn't quite look like the original. This is what it looks like, and it's quite cleanly cut, so it doesn't have too many frayed edges or anything like that, and it's kind of a mixture halfway between being soft and fluffy and densely packed again. So it's not quite stiff. It's got a bit of movement to it, which is what you want. You want to be able to blend out your eyeshadow properly. So I'm quite happy with this, actually. In comparison to the original picture, the original actually looks a lot more rounded and fatter than this. Yeah, it definitely looks a bit fatter, but again, I don't think I have one that's actually this size. So again, this is very, very handy for me. I need, you know, smaller crease brush, smoke shapes. I need smaller eyeshadow brushes like this. So definitely a good find. And next is the 310 spot liner, and this will be a good one for, you know, either doing your eyebrows, putting your eyebrows, you know, putting some definition to your eyebrows, or cleaning up your eyebrows. I think I'll probably use it for actually creating my eyebrows, and also for a winged liner, so for, you know, for gel liner or anything like that. So definitely a good one. The only thing is, comparing it to the original, this the original is definitely at a sharper angle. So this looks a bit, actually, am I comparing the same picture? No, I'm comparing the wrong one. Right, so the spot liner, let's just see. The spot liner is actually meant to be a totally different shape. It's meant to be a lot more pointy. So yeah, this is more of a flat top eyeshadow, well, I want to say eyeshadow brush. It's more of a flat top versus an angled eyeshadow brush. So yeah, it's totally off actually. But again, I have another brush like this. This is my second one. I could do with more brushes like this, so I'm not entirely angry, you know, that it's off. So there are a few hits and misses, as you can see in this dupe set. But to be honest, all isn't lost. So again, I'm happy I have this. And then next is the 322 brow line. So the 322 brow line, this one again doesn't look anything like the, well, I don't say it doesn't look anything, it doesn't look as closely, it doesn't look as much like the original as the others. So this is meant to be a really short brush with a slight incline. So this incline on it looks quite dramatic compared to the original, and the original is actually, it looks like it's half the size of, you know, the length of these bristles. But again, this would be a great eyeshadow eyebrow brush, you know, for creating eyebrow or for cleaning up. Actually, I might use this for cleaning up. I don't have a brush this size. My other eyeshadow, my angled eyeshadow brush actually looks about this size, and it's, you know, cut at an angle. So having one that's this size is fantastic. I really need something like this, so I'm not disappointed. And again, it's quite stiff, which is what you want. You want to be able to control the placement, and, you know, to be able to clean up your eyebrows quite cleanly. So yeah, definitely like this. And lastly, we've got the wing liner. So it's a 317 wing liner brush, and comparing it to the original, again, the angle that the hairs are cut isn't as sharp compared to the original. So the original is actually at a more dramatic angle. But again, this is actually a very useful eyebrow brush for me. So these two together are going to be best friends. Ooh, they're going to be best friends in terms of my daily routine doing my eyebrows. So if I can compare the two in terms of size, yeah, it's very cleanly cut. I'm not mad at, you know, the way it's been made. It looks really, really good. So again, it doesn't matter that it's not like the original. It's very useful for me, so I haven't wasted my money entirely. So that's to wrap up the brushes. And again, it comes with the bag, which is really good. I don't have a bag like this, and again, it will be useful to have all my brushes in one bag to just protect them if I'm traveling. So, you know, I'm not mad at the fact that I have, you know, an extra makeup bag to put all my stuff in. So yeah, definitely liking this. So most of the brushes are hits, and I strongly suggest you get yourself down on to eBay and get yourself one of these sets. So definitely loving it. You'll be seeing a lot more of those in my future videos. So next I'm going to move on to some lip products. I bought a few things from MUA, Bellapierre and Tracy. So Bellapierre and Tracy were bought from TK Maxx, and my MUA products were bought from SUPERDRUG. So yeah, I'm going to start with MUA. So first two things I bought were two highlighters. They're not new or anything, but these highlighters, obviously I've seen them all over YouTube, and they look really, really good from the swatches that I've seen. And if you haven't seen them already, here they are. So this one is called Golden Scintillation. It's a light gold color, and this one is Golden Afterglow. So if I can just show the two for you. Alright, so might be able to see it, so right like that at the angle. So this one is a bronze, this is the light gold. So I've been using this one more, and I'm just gonna swatch both of them for you. So this is Afterglow, and this is Golden Scintillation. So this is Afterglow and this is Scintillation. So you could definitely use this for your inner corners, and you can use it as eyeshadow as well. I'm yet to do that, but yeah, they're really pigmented. I'm really happy with that. In terms of the feel, they're not exactly buttery, but I can imagine, well, it feels really nice, but it's just not the smoothest eye highlighter I've ever used. So yeah, you know, you get what you pay for, but you definitely get pigmentation. If that's what you're looking for, these will be absolute stunners on your face. Right, next are two liquid lipsticks I got from MUA. So they're the Velvet Lacquers. I got this lovely purple shade, purple plummy shade, it's called Kooky, and this burnt orange terracotta type shade called Sizzle. So I'm going to do some swatches on my hand, so I think I'm going to do them on my hand rather than my lips. So this one is called Sizzle. This is the terracotta shade, and I've been looking for an orange shade. Every single orange shade I've ever tried from the drugstore has actually been a bomber. So yeah, they've been pretty crap, and I've been looking for a really pigmented orange liquid lipstick for summer. So I haven't yet found one, and I'm hoping this one will do the trick. So this is what they both look like. So this looks a little bit more like a reddy. It's got a bit of red to it, but in the packaging it looks a bit more orange. But on your lips, it will probably look more orange. It looks a lot lighter in the packaging than it does on my skin. So maybe my skin's affecting the shade a bit. But yeah, so this is the purple and this is the terracotta orange shade. And it says they're meant to be long wear matte finish lip lacquers. So in fact, I think I'm probably just going to try these two. I might not let them dry down completely, just, you know, to save time. But yeah, I'm definitely excited about both of them. I might line my lips as well, because that's how I would normally wear them. So I'm just going to take off my lip gloss. So the first is Sizzle. So I definitely need to line my lips for this. I'm just gonna go get my brown lip liner. So I'm just lining my lips with my NYX Hot Cocoa lip liner. Okay, so it's a bit closer now. So as you can see, which I hope you can see, it's drying down. I'm not too sure about the formula. Although it dries down really quickly, it's a little bit patchy, so I think you might need to line your lips a bit more and also apply some lip balm. I think it's going to be a really drying formula. I'm not entirely sold on it, and I'm not really sure how it looks against my skin. But it's my dream to own a really nice orangey liquid lipstick, and I'm still on the search. So this is definitely not it, but I'll definitely work with it. Maybe mix it with some red. So next I'm gonna try the Kooky. I feel like this was a lot easier to apply. I definitely love this color, and I'd usually oh, it goes with my eyeliner, so I'm not sure if you can see. So I've got some metallic eyeliner going on there. It's purple. So yeah, purple on purple. Yeah, I definitely like this. It dries down really quickly, so under 1 minute your whole lips are matte. So I'm gonna take the purple off and I think that's, so I'm going to move on to the Ellen Tracy liquid lipsticks. So these Ellen Tracy liquid lipsticks, these are the nudes, and it cost me $5.99 from TK Maxx, and it looks like this. So these are some really nice pretty colors. So the first one I'm going to try, actually they don't have, do they have names? Yes, they do. So this is called Nudity. So this will definitely need to be mixed with a deeper shade. So I think I'll mix it with one of the other shades in the tin. But this is what it looks like. And it's really, really, I feel like it will dry down to a nice matte finish, but obviously it doesn't dry as quickly as my MUA ones. I can feel it on my lips and it's sticking together a bit, but it's drying down pretty quickly actually. On to the next one. Let's see how well it removes. It's got like a moussey texture. I'm not sure if I just mentioned that. So slightly moussey texture. Yeah, it's definitely sticking together. Next is, so this, sorry, Nudity was more of a really nice nude with a pinky nude, and this next one's got a bit of it's more of a cool tone. So that's a warm nude. This is more of a cool tone nude, pink. It's got a bit more pink to it than nude actually. So this one is Exposed. I think this could do with 2 coats, and again obviously it's not my color, but it could definitely be mixed with like a nude liquid lipstick if you have one. Oh, it's really hot in here. Again, it dries down quite quickly. I'm just going to do swatches on my hand as well. Next is Bare, and it's a cool tone, kind of almost with a grey undertone type of nude. I'm just going to do a swatch on my hand. Again, this will definitely need a liner, and it'll probably possibly need to be mixed as well. So yeah, so this is what they look like so far. I suppose I should, oh yes. And then lastly we have Bold, which is this. It's looking a lot more red. It's got some purple in it, so bear that in mind. Yeah, it's looking more red on camera for some reason, but it's more of a plummy color, so I love this. Right, so these colors, again, I think this will probably be the one I mix with every single one of these 3 shades. But yeah, I love the little packaging, it's really cool. And these are the colors that I've just shown you in order from what's this, my left to my right. So next are the Bellapierre liquid lipsticks. So they come in a box like this. There are 4 colors. And Bellapierre is a cosmetics brand that I heard about on QVC. They're quite decent in terms of their quality, so I expect a lot from them. So these are a lot bigger than those. Actually, I didn't mention the quantity that you get. So I think these, it doesn't say, hopefully it says on the back. So these you get 6 ml, and on these you get actually 12 ml, so double. Yeah, so they're a lot bigger. Compare the size for you. So these are great for holiday, and this is more probably for your everyday makeup bag, so if you can see. And this set was $9.99. So the first one I'm going to try, so these are kiss proof lip creams, they say, and actually I'll just read off some of the claims. So it says, do you love the look of matte lipstick but hate how messy it can be? We've got the solution. These kiss proof lip creams were designed to last all day without transferring onto everything your lips touch. The creamy formula goes on smoothly and dries to a beautiful matte finish within 60 seconds. So I might not have the time to actually check whether or not they do dry down in 60 seconds, but I will definitely show you the color. So I think some of these shades are comparable to the Ellen Tracy ones, so I'm going to put them under the ones. So unfortunately they won't actually, I'll put them in the order I'm going to apply them, so it's not too confusing, but you see that some of the shades are actually quite comparable to each other. So this set is $9.99, the other set is $4.99, so it's up to you in terms of how much you want to spend. So this one is called what is the name? Nude. It's another light shade I won't be wearing on its own, but I'll definitely mix it with another dark shade. I've got some NYX liquid NYX, what do you call it? NYX liquid lingerie, something lingerie, and they will go well with this. So I've let this one dry down, and it's, you see, I'm not sure about this formula. See, it's rubbing off and peeling off. That's a disappointment actually. Next I'm going to try Antique Pink, and this is a more of a beige nude. So this is slightly lighter. It might not be obvious on camera. So I think they could have done a better job in terms of the shading, so they could have added a bit more pigment to this, so it's a lot more different in terms of the shading, because on camera they look similar, and even in real life it's only a smidgen darker than this one. So yeah, Antique Pink. Out of the tube it actually looks a lot nicer, but again it will be too light on my natural lips without lip liner. This isn't so bad. It looks cool on camera, but I think with a lip liner and it's just a little bit of a darker brown, this would work. So this one seems to be a better formula, so I've let it dry down somewhat, and it's not peeling like the other one did. So I'll definitely play around with it a bit more, but I'm not totally disappointed. I like the shade. Next is Rose Petal, and it's this how do I describe this? Slightly plummy nude. So this looks similar to the Bellapierre color. This looks similar to Bold, you can see, but this is a bit more, slightly more cooler. This is a bit more red, I suppose. It's a little bit more red. This has a bit more purple plum to it. And it looks a little bit red on camera, or some of my foundation's coming off, but I really like this, and it's drying down quite quickly. Yeah, can't wait to wear this. This is obviously a more autumnal type of color, but yes, I love this one. I tend to love darker shades anyway. Yeah, this is my favorite one to date. So lastly, this is called Hothead. I like that name, and it's a red shade. So this is the last one. It's it looks like a pinky red. But I like this. Again, with the lip liner, even without a lip liner, I think it would work. I like the fact that it's really opaque as well. So these last three shades are definitely hits. That first one I'm not too sure about. And I like the fact that even within this, you know, nude collection, they threw in a red as well, because the red is a classic shade. Everyone needs at least one good shade of red. And speaking of red, I did get something from the Be Bold range in SUPERDRUGs. So it's a UK brand. And this is just a chubby lip pencil. It's really creamy. It's a red as well. I'm constantly on the search for a red shade. Just trying to dry my lips there. Constantly on the search for a red shade that suits me. And this is just a lip pencil that doesn't promise anything, by the way. It doesn't promise to be transfer proof or smudge proof or anything, but it's just quite vibrant. So it's actually a lip and cheek color, so you can use it as blusher as well, but it's quite powerful. And it's called Orient, so it's shade 153 Orient. So this I like a lot. I haven't swatched it on my lips yet. I only swatched it on my hands in store. And I picked it up for 99p, by the way. So I think they were in the clearance section. So there were quite a lot of them. So I don't think they're going to get through them anytime soon. But this is definitely in my top 3 red shades. It's quite glossy. It's really, really moisturizing. Feels really nice on the lips. So if you're at SUPERDRUGs, you might want to check yours out to see if, you know, this has been marked down. So yeah, so that is everything. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you tried any of these products at your local TK Maxx, SUPERDRUGs, you know, wherever, comment down below, let me know what you thought of them, if you have the same experience. Yeah, so that's about it. Oh, don't forget to subscribe and thumbs up, and also don't forget to hit the notification button down below. So that's about it. Have a blessed day, have a wonderful evening. So see you in my next video. Bye.
So cute.